Hello, welcome to Rants Without Pants, which you can watch on shophead.blogspot.com and bloggingblue.com, and now Dane101.com. My name is Adam Shabel. You may know me from the Madison, Milwaukee power pop band The Shabels, or as the guy who's gonna miss the hell out of this guy. I am fucking out of here.
Oh, please.
Fuck you.
No, please.
Fuck
please,
you,
please,
mother.
no.
Fuck you, motherfucker!
You motherfuckers!
Sure, we've had our ups and downs, but co-founder and editor Jesse Russell is a dear friend of mine, and he's always been there for me. If it wasn't for his support, him teaching me the ways of blogging, writing, and journalism, I more than likely would not be sitting here right now, ranting without my pants on. So you can blame him. My early years working on Dane101 was some of the best and most challenging and most rewarding years of my life. And that's thanks to our guest today, co-founder and editor of Dane101, Jesse Russell. Him and his lovely wife, Maddie, are leaving Madison to head to San Francisco for a job opportunity. Hey, San Francisco, I'm not happy with you right now. First you kick the Packers out of the playoffs, and now you're stealing a friend of mine. You suck, San Francisco. You suck. Anyway, here's part one of my interview with Jesse Russell, followed by a new segment called That's the Truth, and I think you know it. Anyway, here's the interview.
I'm glad the unicorn picture is right over my shoulder. Yeah, well, we're giving it away because we're having that party tonight. We're giving away all of our stuff in our books, so we hung on the walls the stuff that we're getting rid of. So it's not my unicorn.
Whatever.
Or is it?
I'm not judging. All right, so I want to say that Jesse Russell is here on Rants Without Pants on shophead.blogspot.com. And Jesse Russell is the editor for Dane101, the co-founder of Dane101. He has done a gazillion things within Madison, and he is leaving us. He's leaving the state of Wisconsin to go to San Francisco because he doesn't like us anymore.
That's true.
And but why don't we, for people that do not know what Dane101 is, why don't you explain Dane101?
Dane101 was started in April 2004. I should know this. Well, it was started at least, well, it'll be 9 years in 2013, whatever that is. It was basically started as a community blog. It started myself, Christian Knutson, and Shane Wilty, who we all kind of had a blogging background, but we all understood that in order to have a functional blog, you needed to have constant updates. So we talked to people in the community, brought them together, and had them doing regular posting. That way, every single day, we'd have multiple posts during the day. And our focus was, of course, Madison, politics, culture, arts, and all that. So, and now it's had a long journey. It's morphed into a few different things along the way. We've tried many experiments, and currently, right before I leave, it's going to change again once I leave. Last we were trying to do is try to turn it into a nonprofit news organization, which will cover politics in Wisconsin. But now it's going to be morphing back into more culture-focused, a little bit more free-form, and it's going to have about 5 people running it instead of myself and Emily Mills. Emily's been helping with it for the past 4 years or so. Okay, but in the beginning, what was the inception? What was the idea? What made you guys do this and start this huge project? Christian and I worked on the Wisconsinite together, which was like monthly, kind of like an isthmus, and covered a lot of arts, culture, politics. But that is very costly to print a newspaper. And Madison, at that point in time, it didn't have the daily page as it is now. It didn't have a community news site with multiple contributors that was online only. So there was a real opportunity here to create this. So that's why we did it, because we really wanted to continue the Wisconsinite, but we just didn't have the money to do something like that. So we started Dane101 to kind of fill that void that we needed. And then 4 months after that, 4 or 5 months after that, Christian left to go help Isthmus start their own version of Dane101, basically, and that's what the daily page is today. That's awesome. And who was the movie reviewer for the Wisconsinite? That was you? This guy right here. I wrote about music. That was my focus. I interviewed Daniel Spoon was my big thing. Yep.
Okay, so then what was the moment that you were like, you know what, this is really becoming something?
I mean, I've always known it was something. But in October of 2008, I was incredibly burned out. Christian was well gone by then, and I was carrying most of the editorial duties on my own shoulders. And I sent an email out to everybody that was related to Dane101 in October of that year saying, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm burning out, so I think I'm going to have to shut it down. And that's when the board came together. That's when actually you and Michael and Emily, Jason Dean, I forgot who was on the board way back then when it first started, but those folks came together to kind of help share the burden and take some of it off my shoulders. And Emily became a very important part of that because she started sharing editorial duties, which is what I needed more than anything, was someone to help me run the flow of the website and also handle some of the writing duties when there wasn't any other content coming in.
Right.
It was very important to me to have content every single day. And it was those people coming together that really showed me that it was important and it was something that Madison needed, and I had to figure out a way to keep it around.
So, okay, so now I actually want to go into just some random questions that some people around Madison and Wisconsin, they knew I was interviewing you, and they wanted to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Okay? First one is from Madison City Council member Bridget Maniaci. Her question is, what are 3 things that you'd like to see changed in Madison?
Wow, okay. 3 things I'd like to see changed in Madison.
I know, that's kind of putting you on the spot there.
But I think I can answer a little bit. I think I would like to see, one thing I would like to see is definitely a little bit more unity in the music scene in Madison, and a little bit more of a community with people working together. Right now we have a lot of, I don't want to say cliques, but we kind of have cliques where...
It's kind of clicky.
Yeah, one group of friends is off supporting...
Just friends with friends, yeah.
Yeah, they support each other, but I'd like to see kind of some way for that to gel a little more, where there is much more working together to promote each other, more artists going to each other's show, even if it's someone that they don't know, and more support from... There are some very good venues in town, and there's some good promoters in town, but I'd like to see a little bit more support, a little bit more commitment to paying the musicians so they can basically, I mean, they'll never be able to live off of their music unless you're a certain caliber of musician, I guess, but so at least they can, you know, make some money off of doing their music and producing their art. That's one thing I'd like to see.
They can make a CD at least.
Yeah.
They'll have money to at least make a CD or something like that.
Yeah. I'd like to see a little bit more, I guess what I want to see in Madison is collaboration, because I'd like to see a little bit more collaboration between the media and Madison. I don't want to see as much competition as there has been. You know, Dane101, we've always tried to embrace other media in town to support one another, and I'd like to see the State Journal working with Isthmus. I'd like to see even like Shepherd Express in Milwaukee being involved in a way, and like, you know, all throughout Wisconsin, bring all that together, because we're all covering the same issues, but it'd be better coverage and we share resources. That's something I'd like to see. And that's something I'm hoping the new people who are going to be curating Dane101 are going to be able to do. And that definitely is one of their focuses. So,
excellent. Well, that's 2. That's good. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf said.
I like to see flamethrowers attached to the plows around town so they can be more efficient when it comes to getting rid of snow.
I like that.
So
all right,
that's for you.
3. Bam. Okay. Another question is from former Dane101 contributor and I guess former music editor Joshua James.
Oh yeah.
Why did you take a chance on a shitty writer? Now, I responded back to him with, "Are you talking about you or me?"
Well, the thing is, Josh isn't a shitty writer. I feel weird addressing him specifically, but I know he's referring to himself because one thing about Josh is that he underestimates himself, and he just needs a little bit of pushing and encouragement. And you know, there's a writer inside everybody, and it just takes the right people to help get it out. And it also takes, you know, acknowledging that you're on a public stage, which is what makes a lot of people concerned about writing for a website like Dane101, but willing to kind of be humble and bury that a little bit, so you have the confidence to do the writing you need to do. If that
Well,
makes
I guess that just brings up another point in the sense of, you know, just kind of how, you know, he didn't have much of a writing background, but yet, you know, he started writing for Dane101, and you did that for a lot of people, even though maybe they didn't have that type of a background.
Sure, yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to open a platform up to anybody who felt like flexing those writing muscles in their brains.
And a lot of them moved on to shall we say, just a little bit better paying gigs, I guess.
Yeah, better paying gigs, or starting their own blogs, or doing additional writing. And you know, they might not have been doing writing before they started writing for Dane101, but now a lot of them are doing writing in some form, and that's a good thing. And I was happy to give that to whoever asked for it.
All right. Okay, let me get another person here. Okay, so I don't know if she's still on the board right now, but she's definitely a contributor. Kat had a question. She said, quote, "It may be cheesy, but I'm curious about what he will miss about this town, or what his favorite Wisconsin cheese is, even getting cheesier."
I don't know much about cheese, even though I live here for...
The main thing is what you'll miss about
Right. What will I miss the most about Madison? Really, my friends, you know, the people that I've built, the community I've built around. In the past month, I've really felt my relationships a lot stronger than I have in a long time, and kind of feel like in some cases I may have neglected some relationships that I should have been focused on a little bit more, and I wish I actually took more of an initiative to go downtown and meet people and hang out, because there's a lot of great things to do downtown, and I'll miss people.
That's a good answer. And
not just my friends, but also a lot of people I worked with, like Kathy Desmers of the High Noon Saloon. You know, we're acquaintances, we're friendly acquaintances, but I'm going to miss working with her and putting on events because she took a chance on me early on, and I'm eternally grateful for that.
Let me get to the next one. Emily Mills, obviously your partner in crime when it comes to editing. Ask him what that smell is. Okay, well, that one we can skip.
That's her.
That's her. Okay.
She admit it to herself.
This is from Kyle Pfister. Thanks, Jesse, for attempting a citywide Madison Music Fest years before a mayoral committee got allocated more than our entire budget to just explore the idea. He was named in the top 10 most influential people in Madison music in the last decade, you know.
Who was?
I think you were. It was Nate Tredenick, who's in the Chabelles, some lead guy in Something to Do. Number one, what will you tell the hippies in California about us?
I don't know. You know, Madison doesn't get the spotlight as much as a lot of other cities, even of its size. But it's definitely a place worth visiting and worth considering checking out, because we have great food, we have great bands. I'll work on that one.
And this is the second question. Do you think Nate can pull off a mustache?
Yes, but it has to be a very bushy mustache.
And number three, what's the best Madison band?
The Chabelles.
Shut up. I know there's a lot of bands that you really like. Well, I mean, I know you like the Chabelles, but I know that's not your number one. But what?
I don't.
Do you have one?
I don't.
Or are you just you're gonna piss people off if you say?
I don't. I mean, I guess I could say, because they're not around anymore. You know, Paling Gentlemen, they were always one of my favorite bands in Madison. I was really sad when they kind of, I don't know, they didn't really go away, but they just stopped making music. So they had a lot of potential. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, so that's the end of the questions from other people.
Okay.
And then I've got just a few things, more than a few things.
Clap your hands, dance, dance, feel the birds dance, dance, and don't remind me while I'm here, dance, dance.
But now, a new segment that we call, And That's the Truth, and I think you know it. That's the truth, I think you know it, so please don't give me some crazy bullshit, so with the weather, trust meteorology. Trust the economist when it comes to the economy. And when it comes to mental illness, trust psychology. So when it comes to war, trust the military. But when it comes to science, don't trust Scientology. Instead, trust the scientists and technology. Don't be a bum, don't be a dummy. Don't disregard the facts based on ideology. But know that changing your mind based on facts makes you a novelty. I find it interesting that in 2009, when the big healthcare debate was going on, Republican politicians seemed to ignore the fact that the World Health Organization ranked the US of A 37th. That's right, 37th in healthcare out of 191 countries. That's awful. When the argument was brought up that possibly we could learn something from the 36 other countries that were ranked ahead of us, Republican politicians poo-pooed the idea, replying, "Rock, flag, and eagle," saying we are the best country in the world for anything and everything, and we are going to refuse to learn anything from anyone, especially from those French-Canadian pussies. Now after the countless mass shootings and murders, and most recently the massacre of little kids in Newtown, conservatives are now pointing to Israel's teachers with a gun philosophy, stating it's been effective there, so we should try that. The more guns, the better.
He's going to put together a program like they have in Israel. Israel had a whole lot of school shootings until they did one thing. They said we're going to stop it, and they put armed security in every school, and they have not had a problem since then.
Why is it okay to only point out the countries that you agree with? Also, is Israel really the country to compare the US with? Finally, spokesman for the Israeli foreign minister stated, quote, "We didn't have a series of school shootings, and they had nothing to do with the issue at hand in the United States. We had to deal with terrorism. What removed the danger was not armed guards, but an overall anti-terror policy." But whatever. Let's say it's true. Let's say it's true and that Paul Moore is just full of shit. It seems to me that Canada is tonally closer to the US. They have pretty strict gun laws, and they have hardly any murders at all. And they have universal health insurance that's widely praised by their citizens, and acknowledged as one of the best healthcare in the world. Shouldn't we be following that model? Shouldn't we at least be looking into it? The point is, people are freaking out for no reason. The government is not going to take our handguns or shotguns away. All it is a discussion about having a background check for everyone and a waiting time period. Banning assault rifles that are military killing machines and that are not used for hunting. And limiting the magazines to hold 10, not 30 or 100. There's no doubt that mental illness, how the media covers these mass shootings, and just many other things are part of the problem. Look, these simple, reasonable changes in gun laws will not shrink your penis. It does not take anyone's freedoms away. Instead, it prevents a madman from coming in to your school and taking a kid's life away. And that's the truth. And I think you know. Wisconsin job numbers.
Don't just look at
The yearly job numbers were just released from the U.S. Census data. Now, this is the most accurate numbers you can get. Period. So yeah, Wisconsin is ranked 42nd out of 50 states in job creation. The other Midwest states are doing pretty good. Radical agendas have real consequences. And you can be a proud Republican and still fundamentally disagree with what Walker is doing. And understand that his approach is not working. The numbers clearly show that, so enough is enough. Or as Lisa Thompson from the Walker administration stated, we suck. We're bad. And that's the truth. I think you know. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. God bless you, God bless Wisconsin, and God bless these United States of America. Thank you.